back to Get With The Programming. I'm Chase Ingram.
I'm Captain America.
And along with me is Bill Grundler.
Wolverine.
We're talking teams, baby.
What's up, dude? Hey, real fast.
Hey,
I'm on the YouTube channel and it's not rolling. Can you guys see it? Is it working?
I mean, they're on it.
Well, I mean, I've been talking, but like I don't see us on there.
Nice hat. Thanks, Corey. Do you even know what this is?
Shit. Okay, maybe you do see it. Why is mine not
going?
working?
I mean, we can't have people in here if it's not going. What's up, everyone? Corey,
No,
Travis.
fuck it. There you go.
Bill, Kenneth. Oh, Brian, Johnson, Patrick, Scott, Alyssa, Bam. What's up? Oh, sorry. Alyssa wrote Bam. I'm not doing the Bam thing.
Yeah, dude, come on.
I read it. I wasn't. Sorry.
You didn't finish it, so that was good.
Okay. Phenomenon. Do you do this? I do this. I find myself doing this. That I'll be driving and I'll just read one word of like storefronts or billboards out loud randomly.
You are gonna have to give me an explanation of that. Like
You drive in and I'm like, Nissan.
Nope. I don't do that.
Anybody else do that? Oh, does anybody else do that? No. Just me?
I mean, I might make up a song, but I'll see some weird word and be like, Nissan coming at you, Nissan, something like that. But I'm not just gonna go, Nissan.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Space Wolves.
Space Wolves. All right. Well, hey, we are going to analyze the programming of the team quarterfinals. We had 2 quarterfinals done over the weekend. We had the teams basically Thursday, Friday, and then the age groupers went Friday and Saturday. 2 days. First time we've done 2 days. Usually it's been 3 on separate weekends, and now it's all combined into one. And what we're going to look at is really obviously define quarterfinals the best we can. I know it was a little bit harder for the individuals this year just because it was so different. Talk about things that we believe should be tested in a team competition outside just stimulus, modalities, time domains, things like that. And revisit some of our predictions before we get into and kind of hand in hand them through the actual tests themselves. But before we get to that, Bill,
Sir.
How was the competition you were at?
Oh, man. You know, it's so cool. Okay, so we've been in space a while now. Me and you, like our whole crew with like the MC crew, all the guys that are on the microphones on the floor and the guys and girls that are on the floor and all that. And, you know, I'm out there with Dylan Malinsky, who was just a young pup when he came out, you know, doing his MC thing long time ago. And here he is now as the VP of sport for Loud and Live and basically runs Wadapalooza. And here we are on the floor in Reedley, California, like deep in the Valley of California. And we're doing the MC thing and having fun doing that. But it's like this very cool, reminiscent type of thing. And a lot of the boxes from the Valley have been around for a long time. So it's really cool to just sit there and talk OG type of stuff. Yeah, do you remember when Jason Kalipa threw that softball really funny? Do you remember that one time when Dave had cornrows in his hair? And I mean, it was really cool. So it was the people there are awesome. The competition was fun. It's still neat to see. And it was really funny asking Dylan about this. I'm like, why are you still out here cruising around doing events like this? And he's like, because even though we put on this massive production with Wadapalooza, he's like, it's really cool to see how pared down you can make it and still have the people really like it. So like, you know, once again, it kind of gives you that whole, it doesn't always have to be grandiose or this big, massive project. It could be something that's very pared down and you still get the same response. You still get people fired up. You still get a good competitive feel. You still have something you can broadcast or storytell when you're doing it. And so he kind of uses it as a offside little, let's check some things off and let's see how these work and how do those work and what do you need to do here? What do people really feel like when they get this kind of stuff and that? So it was really fun. I had a blast. People were awesome.
Now was it Saturday, Sunday only? What was it?
They did it. Saturday was teams, and then Sunday basically was individuals. But they did an opening event, a swimming event actually, Saturday night to start the individuals. So
oh, really?
That was cool. They did like a little like a sprint triathlon, swim in the pool, um, concept 2 bike, and then a little sprint run. It was fun.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, that's awesome, man. I'm glad you had a good weekend. You got to
Yeah, it was good.
Especially,
And all it did, it just kept me away from having to do the 15.5 repeat. Was all that did. So I'm okay with
right?
that.
Yeah, you were like, "Hey, I'm not going to do, I'm not going to do instruments this year. I got some
Dang it.
conflicts."
Sorry.
Did your brother do it?
No, he's getting married, dude.
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
When?
First weekend of May.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Tying that old knot.
Oh, James.
I'm rock and roller no more.
Yeah. I saw him, a video of him playing with his kid the other day, and like, when you see your kids on a daily basis growing up when they're young, right? And you think they grow fast, but then like you see someone else's kid you haven't seen in just like 3 months.
And you're like, where'd you have to get that kid?
I was like, what? Last time I saw your child, it was a baby,
and
now
had no hair.
he's got long hair and
Yeah.
walking around. It was interesting. I was like, oh man, I guess I haven't seen a picture or video of him in quite a while. But I was like, oh, you have a child now, not a
Yeah,
baby.
those guys are doing good. Yeah, Luke's funny.
And are they near you? I forgot.
No, they actually live in on the other coast, the left coast, the East Coast, North Carolina. But they're gonna get married in Savannah, Georgia.
Oh, cool. I
guess because it's pretty. I don't know.
Right, it is. It's not hot there at all, I think, in May.
Yeah.
Wad Zombies, we slow down any more clips of you guys talking. I hope not. Man.
That was seriously one of the funniest things I'd heard.
It was.
We'll have to put that back out just cause.
Oh, I'm sure he'll think of something. He'll find a clip where it just sounds like I'm climaxing listening to you say something. Oh man.
Shit.
All right. Well, hey, if you guys are not busy, other than listening to us, highly recommend you guys go to bubsnaturals.com, pop in there, use our new code. If you guys have been using our old code, there's a new code. It's GWTP20, GWTP20. Get with the programming, acronyms, for 20% off. They just came out with their new creamer. So for you guys that want more lactose in your diet, they've got a creamer. And if you want to get away from that, then the traditional MCT oil powder is the route to go. I use both now. We talked about this a couple shows ago. I was like, I'll make a morning coffee. I say morning coffee. The mug I use is at least 3 cups in one mug.
Yeah.
And then it's the MCT oil powder, 2 scoops of collagen protein. I'll drink all of that. I'll fill it up again. This time, being nice to my digestive system, I'll use the creamer and then 2 more scoops of collagen protein. So, my hair is not going anywhere. I think my nails are growing at an exponential rate.
I have to cut mine like every 2 days. I swear, every 2 days.
I'm playing water polo all over again. I don't know if you have anybody that played water polo in this chat, but like every game or practice, like the refs would come by and rub your fingernails.
Check the nails, yeah.
You had to cut them to the like nail bed. Well, the nail bed's at the base of your nail, but you guys are getting like the edge of your, like you can't have
the white.
Right. No white. And so like just for scratching purposes, because you get one dude that didn't get checked or they skipped over him and you get out of the pool and he looks like he got mauled by a tiger, which has happened to me before. But yeah, it's great. And the thing I like too is that I was like, now that I'm 40, these are things that are really essential to just like me getting older. Is like the collagen protein for my joints, my skin, my nails, my hair. But for me too, specifically, is like recovering from the shoulder surgery. Like I'm talking about joints and ligaments and tendons and the collagen protein aiding in that like longevity and the healing that is coming into that. I think it's a very important part of my day.
I just want to keep my hair as long and lustrous as I can do it. So
it's working.
You could have your shoulder. I'm going to keep my flowing locks.
Yes.
There you go.
Yep. Emmeline? Is that how I'm saying your name? Emmeline Voorhees? Great last name. After water polo, I still can't have long nails. Yeah. No.
It just happens.
Yeah, and she's right. Girl water polo players are just in like in general in like sports? Like, you think dudes are like vicious and mean, and for the most part, guys don't really want to fight each other. I mean, like you're a wrestler, so that's a little bit different. And in water polo, a little bit different too. I enjoyed that. But let's say the commonplace male. The commonplace male don't really want to fight each other, whether it's like schoolyard, football field, whatever. Like, they just don't. They say they do, but they don't. Women don't give a fuck. Like, they want to not just fight each other, but like maim each other. Like,
they would seriously, yeah, they would.
Like, breaking up girl fights is so much like I almost think it's so much harder than breaking. Like, dudes are like, fine, thank God you broke this up. I don't want to do this anymore. And like, girls will just lock in.
Well, because they don't care. There's like no gradient of, okay, if I hit him here, yeah, that'll make a point. This one will cave his face in. This one might do some like real damage. There is no grading scale like that on the women's side.
Yeah.
It's like the red goes up and the red is up, and that's all that is seen. Not body parts, not, I don't care if I'm grabbing you by the hair and flinging it into the wall a bunch of times. Like, the red is still up.
Yeah.
So I don't stop until the red comes down, whatever that might be.
Any girls in the chat, can you like confirm or deny this hypothesis that I have? Again, this is just a hypothesis, but hypothesis. God, I can't even speak right now. But I feel like they do want to, like, and they don't want to stop.
Yeah.
Corey Leonard, what did he say? Coaching girls in soccer was insane. They hate everyone. They hate each other, the other team, you, the rest, everyone. I get it. Oh, hey, Bill, I gotta win. I got a son win. I'm gonna pull this up.
Wait.
I'm gonna pull this video.
I so bad wanted to send you a message when you did your kid score in the wrong way.
Okay, so let's do a little backstory. I put my son in a flag football. He's 5. Like, he turned 5 2 weeks before the season started, and it's 5 and 6. So all of these kids are a year or more older than him. He is the smallest one on the team, and he's the youngest by a year. And the difference between a 5-year-old, like a fresh 5-year-old, and a 6-year-old, they're just different people.
That's like 10 years, man. Like in our time, that's like a decade worth of time.
Difference.
Right.
And like, I just wanted to give him an experience. And so the other day, I'll pull this up. I just have to show this. So he gets the ball for the first time in a game. And the poor kid, he just got so excited. And so I made this video of him. Can you see? Did I have it up? Yeah, I have it. All right.
Marshall is running the wrong way, and he's running it into the end zone the wrong way.
But he gets the ball, and he just hightails it. Like, he gets the handoff. He sees 2 kids running him, so naturally, basic instincts take over, and he runs them away from them. Unfortunately, it was in the wrong direction. In his own end zone. Now, on the flip side of that is that he did the same thing the next week. Except he caught a pass. And by I mean catch a pass, it's like a 3-foot pass, right? But the whole time going to the game, so I'm about to announce like a very poor parenting moment. So, judge me if need be, and it'll be fair. But the whole way to field, I was like, hey, all right, if you get it, we got to make sure we run the same direction we started in. And he's like, yeah, Dad, I got it. And it's at the end of the game. He catches this pass, and like doing it, like we have this thing for him because like he's not catching deep passes or running away from anybody. I was like, run 5 steps, turn around, and put your hands up, and just stand there. Don't move. Just stand there. And if we can do that all game, it's a win. It's a win, right? So he does it. He runs 5 steps. This is at the end of the game. Coach throws him the ball. He catches it. And then he just takes off in the wrong direction again and scores. And I was worried that, like, because I showed him this video and he thought it was funny. I was like, it is funny, but let's make sure, you're like encouraging funny behavior. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to do that. I was like, yes, but like we went the wrong way. We got to make sure we go to the right way. And I snapped on him took him off the field, sat him down. He started crying. And dude, I felt like such a piece of shit because then he goes, Dad, I thought I scored. Like, I thought I did it right. And I was like, fuck. You are the worst dad in the world. I felt so bad. I apologized to him for probably 2 days. Because legit, the dude's 5. He's never played this game. He runs out for a route. He turns around, catches the ball. Am I to really expect that he knows where he's going? Like, no, that's not fair. But he legit like caught it and ran and thought he scored a touchdown. And so I was like, and then I robbed that for him. So yeah. Anyways, so come yesterday's game, he gets this little handoff. And I wish I
Hold on. It's really loud. Hold on.
Is it really loud?
It's loud. Yeah. So you're over talking it, but then I can't hear what you're saying. I want to hear your play by play as you're doing it.
Can you hear this?
It's a little better. Bring it down. Hold on. Just let it play and then tell us.
Son running in slow motion. All right, so long story short, my son gets a handoff, takes off, runs forward, hits the corner, outruns 2 kids, and then gets tackled. I mean, he ran like 5 yards, but whatever. And I was so proud of him because like he went for it, he did the right thing, so like it was cool. So like we came this full circle, but
he can run fast. Wow.
Once he goes, like he's not slow.
Yeah.
But you ever watch kids that run and they're focused on something else so they don't run as fast as they're capable of?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he'll do that sometimes where like he'll run, but he'll be watching someone come at him so he won't like open it up. But like if you tell him like we're going to grandma's house, the speed at which he can get to the garage. I was like, why don't you do that on the football field?
Do you play tag with him?
We'll like chase each other on the house. Him and Blake will do it all the time.
I wonder if making it sound something like that so that it's something that he knows about, you know. So now it's like they're trying to tag you. You don't want to.
He knows you're trying to tackle him with flags and stuff, but
I know. But like maybe it's he's been playing tag longer than playing football.
That's good. Good. Okay, so before we get into this, just to confirm our theory the other day, Megan, we hated each other on the softball team in high school. More competitive between each other than with other teams. Yeah. Okay.
Dang.
Yeah.
Girls are mean.
Corey says, teenage girls, man, my oldest and her team were vicious. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
That toxic femininity, she's.
Oh, yeah. I was, yeah. So I had a dad loss, and then I try to turn it around for a dad win or a him win, like just celebrate him and his efforts. And
yeah, totally.
Yeah, my bad, Dylan. Okay, so let's get to the team competition. So we had quarterfinals. The quarterfinals took 25% of the teams that registered in every semifinal division to quarterfinals, in which the top 20 in the 30-person qualifier semifinals, Asia, Africa, Oceania, and South America took 20 teams from quarterfinals, where the super semis like North America and Europe took 40 into them. And we're just vetting the field. We're vetting these teams for the first time of actual team competition, because in the open, we're just compiling their scores together and making a team score. And now we're putting these teams in a position to work as a team to qualify for semifinals. So, Bill, when you look at quarterfinals and how to test teams, what are some of the things that need to get tested outside of figuring out like who's actually the fittest there?
I think that one of the, especially in an online qualifier, it can't just be one person goes, the other person goes, and one person goes, and the other person goes. You know, the you go, I go type of thing, or just the relay setup where it's your entire. I like when you can't have somebody hide, but I don't like when it's set up to where it's the same repeated pair setup, or it's the same. Like I think that. I mean, I'm not. When I look at team stuff, like I hate seeing the worm in team competitions because I feel like that's a default. But at the same time, what I love about the worm is it makes the entire team have to work together. And I think that that's a piece that gets missed a lot of times, especially for online competition, is it's always pairs or individuals that are doing work rather than the entire team having to do work at one time. So I think that that's really important to be tested, especially as they're going to be in advancing, because you know the worms are going to be there. You know that multiple team personnel activities are going to be happening at one time, whether it's all 4 at one time or you have 3 working and 1 resting or whatever. Everyone's used to the pairs. Everybody knows how to do that. I don't think that takes any sort of communication. I don't think it has to do anything there other than the fact of pairing up strategies. But I like when the communication becomes extremely important, because that, especially when you get to the games, the teams that have the communication, I think that is the for a team to find the fittest team. You don't only have 10 physical fitness traits, but you have that one in communication that you have to add to that. So there's really like 11 when you're looking at the teams, I think.
Yeah, I agree. And I think one of our issues with the last team quarterfinals, and maybe the one previous to that, is that there was very little teamwork.
100%. Yeah.
It was like you go, I go, relay, a total of reps in a relay. Like there wasn't a whole lot of team work. So when we looked at that, I would almost say at least maybe getting to semifinals, a bigger emphasis on making sure we're doing team tests over actually what the tests really are. Like 80-20, but if we're going to test the teams, we need to test them as a team. I'll take that as almost focus a priority of the programming over like what.
No, I hear what you're saying.
Program.
I hear what you're saying. It does, because what's important is that if you set it up to where it's more of an individual set, then you can have a team that's going to advance to a live competition that is there only because of individuals, not because they are good as a team. And you want to make sure that you're advancing teams, not advancing individuals. Yeah. So you're right. I agree with that.
I keep saying it. Emmeline. Am I saying that right, Emmeline? Being a 5-foot girl in the worm with 2 6-foot dudes requires a lot of communication. See, these are only comments you can make on our show.
Right.
We will understand what you're talking about. You put a comment like this on the Savan podcast. And Emmeline. Okay. Yes. Yes. And what's nice is that you actually make it much harder for the 6-foot dudes.
Right. Totally.
You're doing like a worm thruster and it just like leaves your body after. After every rep, but this is great. Oh, here's a comment from Simon Hernandez. Sorry, a little late to the show, but Bill, was awesome getting to meet you over the weekend at Central Valley Throwdown. You're a rad dude. Shout out from CrossFit Ohana or Ohana.
Yeah, so Ohana. So he was one of the guys. No, that's down in Lompoc. So it's just south of us a little bit.
It sounds just Hawaiian.
Well, yeah, because Darren Savella, he runs it. He's Hawaiian. So, but so with Simon, it was really interesting. He came out and did the swim, and he's like, "Dude, I don't swim like at all." So they let people kind of pick their position in the pool, and he was off to the side. And I'm like, "You don't swim?" He's like, "No, I mean like I don't swim. Not like I'm not good at swimming. I'm like I don't swim." He's like, "I'm like, dang, did you not know that they were going to have that?" And he's like, "I just figured it would be a chance for me to learn how to swim now." Okay. So I was like, that's badass, dude. I think it was awesome. Yeah. It was really cool.
That is really cool. Okay. So for the first test, there's 4 tests. There's 1 2-parter. So technically 5 scores. Bill, I think your guess on the test was the closest between the two of us. So your guess was, let's see, 4. Wait, no, hold on. 3 down and back. So you had 3 unbroken handstand walks.
Yeah.
Into 20 shoulder overhead synchro. You had mixed pairs.
Yeah.
All by 3. And then the second group went 323, and they had a heavy shoulder overhead. And you got the 3 right. You got the 3 right. The mixed pairs on the handstand walk also right. I think my team one was shuttle runs and synchro overhead squats. So handstand walk, synchro overhead squats. Mine was only in pairs, so none of us had the all 4 for this particular test. So if you look at test number 1 as it came out, it was AMRAP in 15 minutes, 10 synchro front squats, all athletes, and then 3 handstand walks each, 25 feet unbroken with mixed gender pair. So male and female would walk 25 feet, and then the next male and female walk 25 feet, and they do that 3 times, and they come back to their bar. As many rounds as you can in 15 minutes. And look, like you said, when you can't put a worm in online team competition, you have to find a way to maybe mimic that. And I see this with the 4-person synchro thing for the front squats.
Dude, I actually really liked that. I saw that they had that. I love what this is. I love the fact that all 4 of them had to work, because I think that the more you can do that, especially on online stuff, I think that it will mimic what they're trying to do once they get to live competition as they advance their way up, especially towards the game. So you're right. A worm setup. I mean, this is a heavy worm if you're taking all those weights, for sure.
Yeah.
But I love that setup. I think that's great.
Yes. And the distance some of these like top teams walked was, I think they were getting like 9+ rounds.
Yeah.
They're doing the math, and it's like 2 1/4 football fields worth of walking on their hands and almost 100 front squats. So we found out where all the squats were, guys.
Yeah, there they were.
In the last 2.
Hidden in the first event.
Team competition. Hidden in the team competition.
What would you have thought when you look at it this way? Where do you think the emphasis is put? Do you think it's put on the handstands or on the front squats because they get that rest? Or do you think it would have been better if it would have been synchro the entire thing?
I think the emphasis is on the front squats, just because they all have to work together. With the handstand walks, like you said, everyone's going to get a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
Having all 4 walk at the same time, along with squat at the same time, I think would have been a unique wrinkle to like everyone is working together on this, because we do have mixed gender pairs later.
Yeah.
If I were to armchair quarterback it and change very little, having all 4 handstand walk at the same time, I think would have been a cool added wrinkle to this test, because now you're weak linked on the front squat, and then you're massively weak linked, I would almost say times X, for the handstand walk. Because if you have a bad handstand walk, you're like, hey, listen, I'm worse when I get off the front squats. I need your break to basically like collect myself. So I'll go second. Like, okay, teamwork, team strategy, which is something that should be in play here.
Right.
But if you want to expose a team top to bottom, like a worm would and synchro would, then just make it all 4.
I just think it's like we've never seen that. Never seen all 4 that have to walk across at one time like that. Even when I remember Rich had in Dubai, he set up the team, set up where everyone had to walk, but it was like a conga line. Yeah, it was more of a conga line setup. So everyone was going, but there was a rest on that. I think this would have been an easy place to do that. And I'm not saying that I actually really like this setup. I like how they have it. I think it's a great event. I like how they put it together. I think it's awesome. Yeah. I think that, once we get towards the end, if there was any event where you could have made it where it was set up where everyone's working, this would have been an easy one to do that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And that's, like we said, armchair
quarterback right now.
Attack, but it's like, hey, what if? And that's what we're here for, is to expand some of the ideas.
And I do like that one. Actually, I mean, so far as I look across, you just take this first event. I'm not even looking at the other ones yet. Like, all of the other things that have been happening, this one comes out, and I go, luckies. You guys
Now,
got a good one.
there's part of me, 'cause I was so kind of like flustered from the individual quarterfinals. So like this one came out, I kind of had like, I had my knives out and I'm like,
Yeah.
what's this bullshit gonna be? And then it came out, I go, oh, okay, that's
No,
just
that was cool. That's what I did.
what is I okay, yeah, all right. 485, yeah, cool. All right, test number 2. I don't think I wrote down what you had, but wasn't it
That was my mass one. So it was
it was
2,000 and
2,000,
1,800
yeah, okay.
meter row,
Yeah.
the heavy number of thrusters, and then the rope climbs.
Well, okay, yeah, 2,000 meter row for the men, it combined 1,800 meter for the women combined. I think you had 200 thrusters
Yeah.
at 135 and 95 combined,
Yeah.
and then 30 rope climbs combined.
Right.
Yes. My test 2 guess was male female pairs. It was 50 cals men rowing at the same time into 50 shouldered overhead synchro into 15 rope climbs, and then the female pair went or back and forth like that. So
Yeah.
had that order. What did it end up being was 3-minute AMRAP, same sex pairs. Both athletes will row 400 meters into 10 synchro shouldered overhead at 185 and 125, and then max rope climbs in the time remaining of that 3 minute. And then the next pair would go, and they would all repeat that 3 times each. And this, again, same sex pairs working in synchro and bulk work and same work. Like there's 3 different elements to this. We're going to row the same, not synchro. We just
Right.
finish. We're going to synchro shouldered overhead for 10 reps. And then we're going to climb ropes and share the work for max reps and then get some rest. So you have interval training. You've got a Boz weightlifting, monostructural gymnastics triplet when it comes into here. And you're all working together in this. I really liked this test. Again, for the team side, now we're using same sex pairs and doing bulk total work in an AMRAP format.
Yeah, and I mean, I see that it is bulk work, between, everyone's getting the 400 meters or whatever.
Yeah, we don't have a dedicated bulk work. We're just collecting reps, I guess.
Yeah,
That's kind of what
I think what I like most about it is it's a lot of times when you see interval work put into either training or even a competition, it's like, okay, you'll get a minute rest.
Right.
So it's like just enough to bring the needle down. This is like a true 1-to-1 work rest ratio. And so what it allows you to do is you are able to go full send to get as many of those rope climbs you can, and you have a lot of rest to come back. So I like the fact that it will, I think if there was only a minute rest in between your sets, then your row time would drop way down because you'd be thinking, I need to coast. I really need to kind of, pace out so that we can get the rope climbs, because obviously it counts on the rope climbs. But now you get so much rest at the end of it.
Yeah.
That it really pushes the tempo. And we haven't seen that much of a 1-to-1. I don't think we've ever seen a 1-to-1.
No, I can't.
Which is awesome. I like the setup of that for sure. I think that's cool.
I think we had 1-to-1 rest at the individual games, the hat trick one, but they intersplice the heats in between. So I don't think.
Oh, yeah.
1-to-1.
Okay, yeah.
But that being said, is that you're absolutely right, because with just being 400 meters, so this will take, if you're rowing a 145 for men, 140 women, 150 to 155 for 400. That's a good, strong, somewhat casual pace for these top athletes.
Yeah.
So that you can get off the rower and start your shoulder overhead immediately. But with the 3-minute window and the 3-minute break, I think that actually makes the row matter.
Yeah, totally.
Because, hey, listen, if we can get 5 seconds on the row and push the pace on the shoulder overhead, if you're not confident on the rope, but we bought ourselves 5 to 8 more seconds, we are buying ourselves the opportunity to get 1 more rope climb each round.
Well, and the other thing is to really be aware. They said once your feet are, if at any time at the end of the 3 minutes your feet are off the ground, then that one can count. So it's a matter of being very aware of where the clock is. So you push so that you can make you hit that jump or whatever. Hold on to the rope and just lift your feet up at 259 so that you can finish that last one out while the rest of the team is going.
Yeah.
And that's that. I mean, that was like, if you didn't see that piece, that was important. That's a free rope climb right there.
Yes, exactly. And times 6.
Yeah.
Like when there's not going to be a huge separation with your top teams on the rope climbs like that, if you can sneak an extra rep in there, it's massive. And with all that said, I mean, what are we talking right now that we spitballed the last 3 to 5 minutes? Strategy.
Yeah.
Right? Team strategy. You're giving them an opportunity to strategize with each other within the game. Hey, listen, I go to Bill. It's like, listen, I can't row at that pace in the second round. Like that really pushed me to the edge. And if we can row this pace, we can go 3 seconds slower, but I'll feel better. And then we can get to the bar faster because I had to take that 5-second break at the end of the row because that was too much for me. And then you need to go on the rope first. I need that 10-second break. If you can do a double, great, right? And then I can recover, and then I can be much more helpful. And like there's those games you play within the 3 minutes. It's fun.
You could even between your pairs, you could decide to Pat Barber it, go all out on the first one, kind of sandbag the second one to get that extra rest, and then just go balls to the wall in the last one.
Yeah.
To try to get that extra, and I'm not saying don't get any rope climbs on the middle one, but like if you try to reel it back just 1 or 2 rope climbs and then try to really push it on that last one. Yeah. I mean, you're right. There's a lot of different angles to play.
Right. And so like I look at this test, even by itself, like isolated, awesome.
Right.
Different, unique, kind of something we wanted to see a little bit too. So when that happens, obviously we're like, ooh, okay.
Yeah.
We're not totally wrong. And maybe that's why we get defensive sometimes because we're so far off. Yeah. Okay. So test number 3, it was a 3A, 3B. And your test 3A was pairs, no designation of pairs, total of 200 bar muscle-ups to complete, and 300 GHD sit-ups. 2 people can interchange as much as they want, and you can also switch off other people back and forth until the bulk of all the work is done.
Yep.
When you're done, you have 3 minutes to establish a max deadlift, and then you'll have the total combined weight for the team be 3B.
Yeah.
3B, let's see, for myself is I had
trying to put yours up here.
I had a relay format, and it was a 6-minute running clock. 3A was 40 pistols, 20 bar muscle ups, 40 GHD sit ups into max clean and jerks in the time remaining at 225 and 155. The total time for A was your score. The total reps lifted by everybody for B was your score there. But 3B and 3A for this one was a relay format for 3A. And it went female, male, female, male, 10 bar muscle ups, 20 deadlifts at 275 and 185, 30 GHD sit ups, 20 deadlifts, 10 bar muscle ups. Everyone would go and get a time. Once the last athlete is done, they would have a 5-minute clock for max clean and jerks at 275 and 185. So this format I liked. I feel like there was just a couple things in here format wise that I would tinker with. I'll touch on that in a little bit, but as far as like the first part A, that's a hell of a chipper.
Dude. Yeah.
That's a hell of a chipper. Like, one, I like it a lot. I like the bar muscle ups into the deadlifts, right? You got that anterior closing, pulling on the gymnastics. You got the pull off the ground. Then you throw the GHD. Like there's so much opening and closing and hinging and gymnastics and weightlifting to gymnastics and different, like it's a nasty little triplet or I would say pyramid chipper. Sorry, pyramid chipper. I like this chipper. It's dirty. And then what it did to everybody to the bar, I talked to some people. They're like, dude, I had guys that had like 350-pound clean and jerks getting destroyed by that clean and jerk weight.
Yeah.
And the women.
Well, I mean, like it's talking about midline madness. We've heard that title of an event and heard it so many different times that's all this is. midline, hips, just being smoked. And you have to go. I mean, it's a relay, so it's like I go. It's that waterfall, or it's a full relay. So I have to go all the way and get out of the way. I have to go as fast as I can.
Right.
I can't be nice about it as I'm going through this. It has to be a breakneck speed. And then you don't have a whole lot of time. Like once you get off of that, unless if you're the first athlete, okay, you get a lot of rest. So that right there, that sets up that strategy. Like, where do you put your worst person? Do you put them at the end so they don't have to do as much work? Well, they're going to be
right.
Are they going to get to the bar right away to have to do some heavy clean and jerks?
Well, if I were to just be the athlete that is the polar opposite on both of these ends, like I am not going to be a lot of help with a 275 clean and jerk. I could do them, not a lot of them in succession. That being said, if I went first, me getting more rest is not going to improve my ability to do more clean and jerks. That it's going to help. But me going last and just sending the end to maybe get us 30 to 45 seconds faster and let our big dogs, right? Like your strongest male and strongest female, I think should have been going first and getting rest to be better at what they're already better at.
Yeah.
Not worse at what they're better at. Like them fatigued cleaning is not more advantageous at all than me being fresh doing the clean and jerks. In my scenario, like I'm going to be just as useful, or I guess the word is useless.
Yeah.
On clean and jerk, fresh or tired.
No, I agree with that. And that's what's interesting about this particular, double event for the team. Like your team, you can't say what the strategy would be because it's going to be so team dependent.
Yeah.
Like you may have some athletes that are going to be really good on the clean and jerk, but if they aren't very good at bar muscle ups, especially after doing all that stuff, okay, do I need to put them at the end because they're just too big and they're just not good at bar muscle ups? Whether regardless of whether we're talking male or female or whichever, but like if they are going to be going super slow on the bar muscle ups, that's going to be holding up the rest of the team, and we need to have a good time on that. It said female, male, female, male. Does it have to go that order?
Yeah.
Okay. So then, I mean, that right there, that in itself is going to be. I mean, and granted, we know that our top end teams all the athletes are going to be able to do the bar muscle ups.
Right. It's not going to matter.
It's not going to be a matter. That strictly is okay. You put your fastest people to the front because they just need to get out of the way.
Yeah.
But I do think that the weight is. I think it would have even been. I mean, it's heavy. We already talked about that with the individuals. You could have had the same, and it would have been way more painful, I think. And would have shown a lot more overall fitness if you would have dropped the weight down just a touch.
Yeah.
Go 255. Go 255, 175.
Yeah. I agree. And it's not as like, oh, I'm not strong. It's like, no, it's like when I'm looking at
a capacity, though, is what we're looking at.
Right. We are like, when I look at a test, I want to see very few. I say this in a 5-event or scored event setting. We have to be much more, I think, variable or varied with our test than specific, right? So isolating something like a lift in a 5-test field of 20% of the score, I find that maybe like too much. Whereas, because like this lift for a lot of people, it's just like, are you strong or not? That's the test. Right? Now, do you have the capacity to do that? But like, if you're strong, like you'll have the capacity more than anybody else will, right? And then putting something a little lower where people are like racing on the bar when it's heavy, and then they get to a point of failure because they're doing so many reps, not just because it's too heavy. Right?
Yeah.
In a quarterfinals setting, right? Let's like recircle back to where we're at. When I look at this, a couple tweaks for me, and the deciding the order for people to go in, I think sometimes is too many bumpers. Right? So like you have to go female, male, female, male. I was like, just let them run. Pick their order. Let's see how the team goes on a relay.
Do you think that they wanted to, that by doing that, they forced taking out some of the strategy. That I mean, like, it's like, okay,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
know that we can do that, but like now we're not going to let you do it as much. So you're going to have to put your women first.
Exactly. But in a relay, it doesn't really matter as far as the time for the team where they go. What it does affect is the back end on B.
Right.
In a relay, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where they go. It's not a waterfall. If he sucks at bar muscle ups, well, we're not going to put him first because we'll go slower. It's like he's still going to suck at bar muscle ups. Like the time won't change.
What
Like
were the time? What were the time frames for the part A for those guys? Do
Actually,
you have that?
yeah, I got it. So part A, top times 13:25, 13:51, 14:01, 14:08, 12, 22, 30, 32, right? We like everybody's
Go to 50, like 50th place.
50th place, 16:21.
Okay. Okay.
So your top 50 teams, this is worldwide, by the way, is separated by 2 minutes. No, sorry, 3 minutes.
Pick North America. Pick one of the bigger regions just to see what that looks like.
Okay. North America East. Top time is the top time in the world with proven 13:25. You want me to go down to 50?
Yeah, just go down like 30.
18:54.
Okay.
All right. So now you have a 5.5 minute separation
Okay.
from first to 50th. Rep wise, we could look at that too for the clean and jerks.
Yeah.
61, again, proven. Below that, you have 59, 53, 49, 48. And if you go to 50th, it gets down to 27.
Okay.
All right. So, like, big discrepancies for time, big discrepancies for weight. And
Which
neither
is something that we
here nor
would
there.
think. I mean, we're expecting to see that. I was trying to see like where the bell curve was going to be of those more upper echelon teams. Like where's that steep drop off where it gets into where you have the teams that are going like, okay, well, I'm not good at bar muscle ups, and we finished at 25. That's because I don't have it.
Okay,
If you
so
would have
let's
put me
look at
first,
this.
then we wouldn't have finished, kind of a thing.
Yeah, you got your top teams in order. We'll say rank first, okay, second, fifth. This is between A and B. Third, fourth, seventh, fifth, 16th, 6th, 4th, 7th, 8th, 8th, 37th, 9, 10, 10. I mean, there's a lot of similarities here.
Yeah.
11, 31st, 11, 2nd, 11, 6, 14, 42. 15, 11, 16th, 50th, right? And that's probably what you'll see once we start getting lower is that you'll have some top 10, top 20 times that may have bottom 10, bottom 20 lifts because that's just the nature of the difference of the test.
Right.
And we just ranked, sorry, I just lost that. If we just looked at how about qualifiers, and let's go worldwide. We'll say your top 10 worldwide. Workout A, B, first, second. Second place, third and fourth. Third place, second and sixth. Again, this is worldwide. Fourth place, and the fourth place is overall, right? Ninth and eighth on A and B. Fifth place, fifth, first. 13th, 17th, 36th, 25th. 9th, 10th, or 10th, 29th. 41st, 57th, right? And then we'll start to see more of that spread as you get deeper down the leaderboard. But your top teams have both, right? They have both.
Dang, those are big numbers. Wow.
Those are big numbers, yeah.
Holy
Very big
shit.
numbers. Okay, so one thing like twist is let them do whatever order they want. And then the other one, this kind of changes the way things are done a little bit, but okay, you put this order in because this is almost like a either or, not right or wrong, is you can do this format where when they're all done, then they work on the clean and jerks, right? So you have a 25-minute cap in A, and then you get 5 minutes in B, because when you're done with A, you get 5 minutes no matter what.
Right.
There's a sense when I look at that is that you're almost hurting the teams that are better at this because they can be way more intense on A, and then they still get 5 minutes where the others are getting way more rest that get capped. And that's a little thing. And what are your thoughts of, okay, if it was taking everybody, your best teams, 20 minutes. Let me look at the lowest score. Workout A. I want to see the lowest score. Go to fifth. 21 minutes. 24 minutes. Okay, some teams got capped, but that's worldwide. What if you made it a 25-minute cap for everybody?
Had it
And
finished.
after you're finished, then you can get into your clean and jerks. So like when I finish, I can rest as much as I want. And when I'm ready to, I can just start doing clean and jerks, right? Like you get 25 minutes for A and B combined. Something like that.
I see what you're trying to do.
Different strategic process. And it almost, maybe it's like, oh, well, we won't go as fast because now I don't get as much rest, or it's just a different way to look at it. I was just curious your thoughts on the difference between the two.
I think that regardless, if you have a slower team, they're going to quote unquote get more rest, whether it's 3 minutes, even though they still have a good team.
They'll get a worse score in A, right?
Right.
An offset on the leaderboard.
But I think for anyone that's really trying to qualify,
yeah,
they wouldn't be able to afford to.
No, you can't game.
It's not. You're not going to go like, okay, sweet. We actually get 2 minutes lower on the first part, so we're going to be way more rested for the second part. There is that element, but I think that once you get up to the top, I don't really know if it does it that much. And if you make it to where everyone, okay, so you get those top end teams that are doing 14 minutes plus on the first part.
Yeah.
Having 11 minutes to do clean and jerks that way would fucking suck.
Yeah. And it would also
you're not done yet. And then you're not done yet because now you're doing double the lifting work of anyone else that's in the field that's having to do it, because you're doing it for, instead of 5 minutes, you're doing it for or you can do it this way. 25-minute cap. But it's the time of whenever you finish your part A and your 5 minutes of part B. So let's say you finish your part A in, well, no, that's kind of the same way. It's the same setup.
Honestly, after talking it out,
I like it.
I like it too.
I like it.
The only thing is like, hey, just let them choose the order they want.
I'm actually, honestly, on this one, I'm actually okay with them restricting a little bit, because in the other ones they had a lot of freedom to decide where they wanted to go. So I'm okay with this.
It doesn't really matter on part A.
No,
it only affects who gets rest where part B, but that's an easy thing to decide.
But what it can do though is honestly, and not that I think that you need to do I was actually listening to Brian Friend talking about this. He was talking about how one of the segments was a good test to see if you can mentally, handle the pressure. I think it was like the boring shuttle runs that the individuals had to do. Yeah. And he's like, I liked it because it was like, does the athlete have the ability to mentally do whatever? And I'm like, dude, that's training. That's not competition. Like, I don't think that that's a competition thing. However, I do like that this kind of forces the women to be like, shit, we're up first. Or fuck yeah, we're up first. So I like that you get to strategize with one hand tied behind your back instead of both.
Okay.
So I'm good with that.
No, yeah, okay. Again, I'm okay with it. Not to say it's like, hey, different test, right?
Totally.
Everyone gets to be tested individually, collected for time, and then the collective strength, volume, capacity of the team with clean and jerks when it's all said and done. But your strategy does get into play of who do you put where, as far as first or second. All right. Last test for teams. You had was it 4 lengths?
Yeah, I had 100
4
feet.
down and back farmer carry lunge with 170 or 50, 4 down and back front lunge, 4 down and back overhead lunge with the dumbbells. So basically like worm lunge work, but with dumbbell form.
Yeah.
I had mixed pairs, farmer carry lunges and handstand walk lengths front rack lunges, handstand walk lengths, overhead lunges, handstand walk lengths, 6 of each, 4 of each, 2 of each. And what it turned out to be was 7-minute AMRAP, mixed pairs, 1 down and back shuttle run, 2 synchro dumbbell thrusters at 50 and 35. And then it went 2, 4, 3, 6, 4, 8 until the 7 minutes is up. And this is nasty. This is a burner. And this is exactly what format-wise should have been programmed for 23.2A. Not necessarily the dumbbell thrusters, but if you want to make shuttle runs matter, this was
yeah.
1 shuttle run, 2 burpee pull-ups, 2 shuttle run, 4
Gotcha.
burpee pull-ups, right? Or something like that. Like this is the format they should have used in 20.
Now everything counts.
Yeah, right. Now everything matters. It all adds incrementally. Like nothing gets worse than the other. Like you can't walk and be successful. You can't even walk and be better than you normally would be. Like this is it. This is it. And this is nasty.
Yeah, it is nasty. And the fact that it is, if I look at just this event alone by itself, that is an ugly 7 minutes.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
You cap it on the end of whatever you just had to do.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, and this is one of the things that I think we'll talk about as we're recapping the whole thing, is the intensity levels that you looked at. I think that I like what this is, even though I'm not a fan of the shuttle runs. I'm over the shuttle runs.
Yeah.
But I like the setup. Me personally, I think that we needed to have, this would have been another one where everyone's working at the same time.
Okay.
The entire thing is shuttle.
Okay.
And I would have made the time. I mean, in reality, no one's really worked very long. In the first event, you're still resting while the other people are doing the handstand walk. So you'd never have anyone that's working for an entire time. Now, granted, that the first event was 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I would have made this one. I mean, 14 would have been a little long to do these things. That would have been a little mind numbing. But say 10 or even 12 minutes, where everyone's going and the entire thing is synchro, up as high as you can go.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, at some point, that was one of the things I really, it's a very weird thing to say, because I would not have thought that of all of the events that we've seen so far, that I would have been most happy with the teams, which I am,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, by far.
Yep.
But I think that one of the things that they're missing, because of everything being paired up, is you don't ever see anyone working for a very long period of time. And this one, or even the last one, could have been one of those where you could have had the entire team working. So every individual on the team is working for 15 minutes or whatever, 14 minutes or whatever the time is that you want, rather than breaking it up.
Okay.
Just but I like what this is. I like what this is. I'm not saying I want someone to do like 42 shuttle runs or anything like that.
Yeah. But when I look at this, I feel like we complete a piece that we haven't really tested. I know they did mixed pairs with the handstand walk, but that was really a formality than anything.
Yeah,
it wasn't
totally.
Actual mixed pair teamwork, right? You didn't have to walk hand in hand. It was just like, okay, we both finished, your turn.
Right.
This brings in an element that we haven't tested outright with the mixed gendered pairs for this. So I think this is it's a nasty test. I think it's a good hole to plug. And I liked it. I didn't have any problem with it. I mean, shuttle runs aside and that being tested a lot, it's like, whatever. Like, if I look past that and just look at the test by itself, and like, if we'd never done shuttle runs the last year, I'd be like, oh shit. Yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I it seems odd to me, knowing that we had them in the open. It's like, why are the shuttle runs back? However, the way that they're put in here is different than what they were in the open. And I am not a shuttle run fan. I think that they're just, I'm so over them. I don't like we don't need to test how many different ways we can put it in. Like, I'm done with shuttle run. However, even with me saying, like, why the hell are they in here again?
Yeah.
This is a different setup of shuttle runs, because now you're going to be running them, because they count.
Right.
You only have 7 minutes. The other one,
That's how you make
we
them
were
count.
doing that for 20 minutes. So here it's only
Or
7. You got to go.
program 100 of them. That will also make them count. That's one way to do it.
That's I've
well,
worried
one
over that
thing.
one.
Okay, so take shuttle runs out and make it double unders increasing by 10.
Okay, that too.
That'd be cool.
Sure. I mean, I wouldn't like that because I don't like the double unders.
True.
But
Yeah, but it'd be nice.
that's fine.
Okay, before we get to the just kind of our overall feel about this, Dan had a great question. Would an individual version of the team qualifier workouts be better than the one that was programmed for the individuals? So, for example, event 1 individuals, AMRAP in 15 minutes, 10 front squats at 185 and 125, and then 3 handstand walks unbroken. Event 2 being 3 minutes on, 3 minute off, 400-meter row, 10 shoulder overhead at 185 and 125, and a max rope climbs in the time remaining. Event 3A, 3B would be sprint chipper. Upon finishing, 5 minutes to do as many clean and jerks at 275 and 185 as possible. And event test 4 being 7-minute AMRAP of shuttle runs and dumbbell thrusters.
Yes. Yes. Like, fuck yes.
Dan, well done, sir.
I mean, I don't
like
we have our short sprint, we have our interval, we have our longer event, we have heavy work, we have gymnastic work. Yes. Fuck yes.
I mean, the 5-minute AMRAP of clean and jerks was what was programmed anyways. I don't care if there were burpee box jump in there.
Exactly. Shit, dude, that would be a really good one. Oh my gosh, that would be a great.
And and to add a little bit of extra, I mean, make it 4 handstand. Well, don't even do whatever. Don't even change anything. Just yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what we're saying is like, okay, you look at that test and like, who is not going to get to quarterfinals or into semifinals that doesn't belong there versus someone that does.
Right.
With that test. Like 275 is going to clean house. That's going to clean house. The handstand walks, unbroken, that'll clean house. The interval work with the rope climbs, like that's going to separate people. And this last one is going to really like make everyone go dark to get there.
I really want to do that, dude. I really want to do that.
And the chipper, bar muscle up, deadlift, GHD, deadlift,
yes,
bar muscle up.
The exact that whole setup.
Right into 5 minutes. Right into it.
Right into it.
Tiebreaker.
Still getting your 2 scores.
Tiebreaker for the lift is the chipper. Time.
Wow. Hey, Dan,
That's kind of what we were saying in the individuals is like quarterfinal test to get to semifinals. Doesn't need to, or in our opinion,
why
that simple yet devastating? Like no one's going to fake the 15-minute AMRAP of 10 front squats at 185 and 3 or 4 unbroken lengths of handstand walks.
Wow. Dude, my mind is blown right now. That's amazing.
Good job, dude.
Amazing. It begs the question, like, why the team stuff has always been.
Honestly, the team stuff is
the leftover. It's always been so bad. Now it's like, wow, this is really good. I really like that. And so here we are, instead of taking the individual and trying to like maneuver it into a team event, we took the team event and re-engineered it back to an individual, and it's fucking better than the individuals.
First time in history we looked at the team competition and then made the individual competition afterwards.
Holy shit.
All right, so look at your time. Okay, I mean, I know we're getting pressed for time here, but 15-minute AMRAP to kick things off, front squats, handstand walks, moderate weightlifting with gymnastics skills. Test 2, 3 minutes on, 3 minutes off for 3 sets, 400-meter row, shoulder overhead, max rope climbs. And this is a work capacity rope climb test. And then you go into test 3A, 3B. It's a sprint chipper of bar muscle ups, high skill gymnastics, deadlifts at a weight that's not easy to hold on to for 20 times 2 with the 30 GHD sit-ups in the middle, and then straight into, no rest, nothing, straight into 5-minute AMRAP of max clean and jerks at 275 and 185. And then the last test being the AMRAP in 7 minutes. Like, so we went 15. Now we didn't go long, but I still think you'd get, the thing is, like, if we still think we would get the same people, for what I've heard a lot of people say, grading the programming over the last couple of weeks, if we get the same people there, is it a better test for quarterfinals as a whole? If the same people qualify, maybe a couple different here and there. You're not going to get a different top 30.
No. Generally speaking, no. But
It's like, because you qualified the best people does not mean it was the best test.
No, it still has to have, it has to fill out more of a just getting 30 to the next stage. We're still working with, just like with the Open was, widest net we could possibly do, let everyone be as inclusive as possible, let everybody play and be able to go from that and also be able to qualify. We're still in that phase where it's, okay, we have this segment of the population that we need to have that can be involved and be tested correctly, knowing how to test and knowing all the pieces, and everyone's able to do what they need to do, whatever. Like in this, I don't see anything that's made up brand new that we've never seen before.
No.
So why? Why not? Where are the V-ups in this stupid one? Why would the individuals have it, but the team doesn't have it? That cleanup, I mean, jeez, oh man, Dan.
It up really
what
nice.
Dan, dude, did that would have been, I'm going to say this right now. That would have been the best quarterfinal that they've ever had. If they would have done that.
Interesting.
I mean, seriously. I mean, what really are you missing?
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe that should be the Nopin.
That should be that should be the Nopin. Wow.
And then throw a 20+ minute one in there. But okay, let's get to our Element 26 thumb tape review. As we look through all the tests, Bill, we had 5 scored tests over the course of 2 days. Teamwork, all 4 working together in test 1. Male-female pairs working together solely in test 2. Relay style, test 3A. Teamwork, lift in test 3B. Mixed gender pairs test in test 4. Myself, I'm going to give this a strong 1 point. Shit. I'm going to get it a 1.75.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
The only reason it's not getting, 1.5. 1.75 I would have given if you would have changed the lifting modalities.
All the front rack, everything to the front rack?
Yeah. So we had front squat, front rack position, test 1. We had
Shouldered
front
overhead.
rack, shouldered overhead, test 2. We had clean and jerks in test 3, front rack to overhead. And then we had thrusters, front rack to overhead. I forgot to put that in there. So I'll give it 1.5. They tested all the modalities I think teams should be tested at, the breadth of the test and the mixed things that they had in there, the crux here and there, and some strategy that had to go in there. Best team thing they've put together in quarterfinals in the last 3 years, this year included. I think they just used too much of the same movement pattern when it came to the weightlifting movements. So 1.5.
1.5. That's good.
1.5.
That's good.
If they put an overhead squat in there, then 1.75.
Right. I think I will go. I'm gonna go 1.25. I would. It's a strong 1.25. So I'm kind of like itching up to the 1.5 side.
So you're basically like a quarter under.
I think for me, I way more impressed with this than with anything else that I've seen for the age group and for the individuals in the quarterfinals, or shit, even for the open as far as that goes. I like the modalities that were tested. I like the movements that were tested. I like the fact that they didn't go anything new and crazy and unexplained and anything like that. That was good because it makes it easy and everyone can qualify and just do their thing. I do think that they still needed to have a long team event, like because the 25-minute one was in there, that sprint chipper
Right, but it
wasn't the 25 minutes.
Okay.
I don't think that the athletes themselves really had to work out very long. Now the intensity was high, granted. I mean, on each one of those ones, you're doing your 3-minute sprint, and then you have your 7-minute sprint. You have your a little bit of rest in between the, depending how long your people can do 75 handstand push-ups. So there's a little bit of, you have your rest there, but I didn't see one. I would have liked to see that. Other than that, I mean, a couple little bits and bobs of what you could have fixed and adjusted here for the most part. We talked about those, but I really liked it. And it was such a breath of fresh air after the crap that we have seen. And I don't know. And I honestly, I want to know what the difference was. Like, why does this look so much different than what the individuals had, and even in the open? Is it someone different programming? Because it feels like it has a different feel. And I'm not saying that it's not Boz or whatever, but I really, it feels different. It feels classic to our definition, not all. And I'm not going to say it's like, oh, it sounds like what someone Dave would have done. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it sounds classic to what we know of as CrossFit, and myself as a CrossFit coach, things that we've tested. I mean, I love the 1-to-1 work to rest ratio on the interval. That's rad. What it's going to do to people, what that forces people to have to do is awesome. I thought it was a smart setup. I like it a lot. It was good.
All right. There you have it. 1.5, 1.25, all positive. Well done. Best one you guys done so far. And I think we got some good teams going to semifinals. And I'm actually really excited to see what shakes out there, because I think we are going to have a great team competition at the games with just the uncertainty that's out there.
Yeah.
Really. I think there's a lot of good teams out there this year. I think you've got 5 or 6 teams that can make some noise with each other over there in Madison. So stay healthy, stay competitive. Good luck the rest of the season in semifinals. Thursday, Bill and I will be recapping the age group tests from this past weekend as we look forward to the semifinals for the individual age groupers coming up in just a few weeks. Like their semifinals
around the
at
corner.
the end of April.
Yeah,
So we'll take a look at the age group tests on Thursday, about the same time that we did today. But 1.25 for Bill, 1.5 for me. Thumbs up, Boz and company. Well done for the teams. Thanks, guys, for joining the show. See you guys on Thursday.
Peace.